Hi everyone, best regards from the middle of the earth. Okay, we are in a good day, in a fair weather. I am happy to be with you in this video and to share about some topics of culture, of music, and anything else we could share by our mind and our smile. And everybody around the world could come here to my channel and feeling, I don't know, in a better way, in a better form. I only want to support your life with beeps, good beeps, very good beeps. So this is my introduction, and my name is Mari. I am a Latino American girl living in Ecuador, but my ethnicity is mixed, Anglo-Saxon and Latino. Anglo-Saxon from, I must say, maybe Europe. Yes, European ethnicity. And the another side with my mom is Ecuadorian. Maybe Ecuador is the first country because I born here. And my grandmother she's from Peru, yes, Lima, Peru, the capital of Peru. She was Peruvian woman, and my another grandmother was from Colombia. Yeah. So today I have a good idea, and I wanted to share about music from Latin America. Yeah, music from Latin America. And I decided to split this video into parts because the topic is a lot of information, and so I decided it's better to videos. So I wanna begin with my introduction, and then please, if you feel good with my video and my content, you can subscribe with the time or maybe follow. So I am here for the community and the audience, that we could grow up with the time. It's good for me and for you. Enjoy and be happy. So okay, let's start with this topic from music of Latin America. I have a good information for this topic. Okay, music from Latin America is a collective term for the dance, rhythms, and musical styles of Latin America. Okay, the music of Latin America includes genres native to the region, such as bolero. Did you hear bolero? Bolero? I remember this word since my grandparents, wow, Ecuadorian grandparents, because my another grandparents are Anglos from United States or Europe. Okay, song, wow. In a moment, I will expand the each genre. And salsa, bossa nova, tropical music, merengue. Did you hear merengue? Wow, merengazo. Merengazo. I remember my teenagers years when I was in high school. Merengazo. It was the first time when I heard this word. Or bachata, merengue or bachata, vallenato. Oh, vallenato is from Colombia, I suppose. Ranchera, tango, suc. It's like XUC, suck. Wow, it's my first time saying this word. Okay, among others, and also genres that derive from more international styles, such as pop, reggaeton. I am not too allied with reggaeton. Dembow, wow. I thought was a name of a song of urban style, yes. Urbano, yes. Trap, rock, or Latin jazz. Okay, Latin jazz. Okay, this is the first part. And then continue with antiquity of the expression, Latin music. Oh. Okay. Can you see? It's like two photos or pictures. Is this bongos, and this is a guitar. Very nice. Okay, the popularly used term Latin music began to be used in the United States in the 50s. Wow. To refer to the typical musical range of Latin America, seeking to differentiate between styles of Afro-descendant origin and Afro-Latin Americans. In this sense, a large number of genres are considered to be part of Latin America. Latin American music. Merengue. You need to move everything in the part of your body. Bachata, salsa. Oh, salsa is the king. I think salsa is the king in Latin America. Dancehall, grimy, bossa nova, cumbia, tango, fado, milonga, Latin rock. From the northern music of Mexico to the sophisticated habanera of Cuba. Wow. From the symphonies of Héctor Villalobos. Wow. We have to search or research in the next videos. To the simple sounds of the quena. Wow. I don't know that word yet. The only element in common that these types of music have is the use of Latin language, predominantly Spanish and Brazilian Portuguese. Although In the latter country, the term of music of Latin America is preferred. The term Latin music is a neologism of Anglo-American origin that is directly related to the use of the term Latino in the United States, and which suggests that it is a single musical genre that encompasses all countries south of the United States, and that will include both Amerindian music, Creole music, African American music, as well as modern music, and pop rock, performed by singers originally from these countries, but also outside vaguely. The concept of Latin music also extends to the music of Spain and occasionally to that of Italy. If used in strict terms, it will cover the music of the Latin countries of Europe, and in a first interpretation, that of the countries of Africa and Asia, ex-colonies of Spain, Portugal, and France. For some, the expression Latin music refers equally to Andean music, which is mostly of indigenous origin, and to Caribbean genres that, strictly speaking, are not Latin and have a large African component. Wow, sunny day. The sun is rising here. Wow. Remember, we are in Ecuador. In Ecuador, the rays of the sun falls straight to the earth. That is a reason I was using my hair free, but okay, I have to continue with the reading. I suppose the song continue too. Such as Jamaican music, the music of Trinidad and Tobago, Calypso, soca, and Creole music from Haiti, Guadeloupe, or Martinique. We have to search for these parts. For the media and the general public, Latin music is essentially performed in Spanish, although it can also include other genres, so it's common to find any genre offered as Latin music in music stores without much differentiation. For these reasons, the term music of Latin America is more appropriate and precise than the neologism Latin music. The term Latin American music is used in European musical circles to also refer to classical music that was composed in Latin American countries during the colonial period. 17th to 19th century. Okay, characteristics and genres. In this most widespread form, Latin music is performed in Spanish. There are various styles of Latin music in the Americas, in which European, African, or indigenous. Okay, I will make a pause and show you this dog. His name is Rocky. It's my dog, or the dog of the family. Okay, Rocky is having a bath of Zoom. Yes, it's a good companion, a dog. Okay, In the past, extreme positions have been suggested, such as that Latin music was devoid of African influence, or controversially that it was purely African and lacked indigenous and European elements. Today, it's generally accepted that Latin rhythms are syncretic. Specifically, Spanish form of songwriting, African rhythms, and European harmony are important parts of Latin tropical music. Wow, Latin tropical music. It's good Latin tropical music, as well as of more modern genres such as rock, heavy metal, punk, hip hop, jazz, ski, wow, reggae, reggaeton, and R&B. Wow, it's a mix from the variety of the regions around the world. The decima is a word in Spanish, a form of songwriting of Spanish origin, consisting of 10 lines of 8 syllables each, was the basis for many Latin American song styles. African influence is also central to Latin rhythms, forming the basis of Cuban rumba. Wow, rumba. Rumba, rumba, rumba. Puerto Rican bomba and plena. Panamanian tamborito. Oh, it's funny, this word. Colombian cumbia. The troca. Ecuadorian marimba, yes, and several Peruvian styles such as festejo, landó, panalivio, socavón, son de los diablos, and toromata. In Peru, there are regions where African musical influence blend with gypsy influences. Examples of this can be found throughout the north and center of the country in rhythms such as the samacueca, the marinera, and the resbalosa or refalosa. It's very funny. One of the rarest musical fusions of Afro-Gypsy influence draw on Andean culture, giving rise to rhythms such as the tondero. I don't know what is tondero. The cumanana. If you know these words from any part of America or another part in Europe or Africa or Oceania, New Zealand, please write in the comments. It's important to talk about it with the different styles. In giving rise to rhythms such as the tondero, yes, and the Peruvian waltz. In Argentina and Uruguay, African influence played a significant role in the development of rhythms such as the chacarera, the malambo, the payada, the tango, the milonga, both rural and urban. Again, hi Rocky, say hi to the world, to the entire of the world. His name is Rocky. You remember Rocky, the movie? Yes. Sorry, because we are in Ecuador and It's really, really, really sun hot. Okay. And of course the Uruguayan and Argentine candombe. This word is in Spanish. Yes, are in Spanish, with their variants: Afro-porteño, Afro-litoraleño, etc., etc. Other African musical elements are more prevalent in the religious music of syncretic and multifaceted traditions, such as Brazilian candomblé. Wow. And Cuban Santeria. Wow. hilarious part. Okay. Syncopation, a musical technique in which the sound of a note is prolonged for a measure, is another characteristic of Latin American music. The African emphasis on rhythm was also inherited and is expressed through the emphasis placed on percussion instruments. Yes, collectively known as Latin percussion. The call and response style is common in Africa and is also present in Latin American music. Wow, impressive. Pre-Columbian indigenous music. Wow. Can you see these instruments? Zampoña, a typical instrument of Andean music. Very little is known with certainty about music in the pre-Columbian Americas. The ancient Mesoamerican civilization of the Maya and Aztecs played instruments include the this part is hard to spell. Trapizagi. Wow, it's a flute. Another one, the pt.1 wooden drum. Wow, I am impressed. A type of trumpet made of conch shell from the sand in the ocean. Oh, it's incredible. Various types of rattles and raps, and the welt. I don't know if I am spelling good, but it's what I have here. Early writings by the Spanish colonists indicate that Aztec music was entirely religious and was performed by professional musicians. Some instruments were considered sacred. Wow. Sacred, like sacro, and mistakes in playing them were punished as possibly an offense to the gods. Some pictorial representations indicate that ensemble playing was quite common. Similar instruments are found among the Inca. Yes, Latin American people have their roots maybe in the Inca civilization, who had a wide variety of ocarinas and zampoñas, yes, as instruments. The Mapuche cultrum, this word is highlighted in red. Cultrum, I think it's another language. It's also a pre-Columbian instrument with which the loncomeo is played. A rim originally Tehuelche or Tehuelche, adopted by the Mapuche Tehuelches or Tehuelches. This rim is a folk rim from Argentina and Chile, especially from Patagonia. Wow, Patagonia. So, continue. Indigenous, colonial, and modern music. Indigenous music in some Andean countries, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia, tends to feature prominent wind instruments, usually made of wood and reeds, as well as animal bones. Rhythm is usually maintained by drums covered with wood and hides, playing simple rhythmic patterns of varying tempos. This is also accompanied by rattle-style instruments made of hoops, pebbles, or seeds. String instruments of European and Mediterranean origin have had local adaptations, the charango and the mandolin. Wow. Sorry, but the weather is very hot today. Origins. It's a vendor. You're asking, what is he selling? Okay, he's selling not anything bad, at all. He's selling the base for the bases and a little of ground for the gardens. This is Ecuador. My city is Guayaquil. Yes. Okay. The arrival of the Spanish and their music marks the beginning of Latin American music. In the immediately preceding eras, he's furious. Sorry. In the immediately preceding eras, various ethnic groups, including Arabs, Moors from North Africa had coexisted in Spain and Portugal. Wow. Each with their own unique musical expressions, which contribute to the early evolution of Latin music. Many Moorish musical instruments were adopted in Spain, for example, and the North African nasal singing. Nasal singing? Yes, nasal singing. And its frequent use of improvisation were also picked up by the Iberians. From continental Europe, Spain adopted the French troubadour tradition. Oh, troubadours, which was an important part of Spanish culture by the 16th century. From this heritage, the lyrical composition format of the decima was maintained, which remains a fundamental part of Latin American music, being present in corridos, boleros, and vallenatos. Okay. Some other Latin American peoples are essentially African, such as the Garifuna of Central America, and their music reflects their isolation from European influence. However, in general, African slaves arrived in the Americas, modifying their musical traditions, adapting African rhythmic styles to European songs, or vice versa. The first musical manifestation of the independence of our Latin American countries is the national anthem. Well, we have here next to us, popular music. Okay. Argentina. Argentine trumpeter Eddie Pequenino and his group Mr. Roll and his Rockers, along with Billy Cafaro, are considered the pioneers of rock and roll in Argentina, decisively influencing the birth of Argentine rock. The former's resemblance to Bill Haley is notable. Tango is perhaps the most famous musical style of Argentina, being known throughout the world. Among its representatives are Julio Sosa, Piazzolla, Carlos Gardel, very famous, Roberto Goyeneche, etc. Other musical rhythms include chacarera and chamani. Argentine rock began to be popular in the late 70s with groups like Pescado Rabioso, Almendra, Papu, Patricio Rey, Sus Redonditos de Ricota, Soda Stereo, Sumo, among others. In addition, the meaning of tango, typical dance of Argentina, is to demonstrate passion and woo the person with whom you dance it. For me, really, some words, it's my first time with some words. Folk music is a very strong musical genre in Argentina. Just like the tango, only is danced more throughout the interior of the country, where each region has its own rhythm, even though it's the same germ. A very famous one is the chamame, or there's also the milonga. In Buenos Aires, it's also widely danced and very famous. Despite the fact that the tango is the most popular rhythm, folklore is close very rarely. The Cordovan quartet was a widely rejected dream, and it was a genre played by lower class people. Later, this genre gradually grew, and as it grew, it became increasingly accepted by the people of Cordoba, and later recognized and heard throughout almost the entire country. Okay, we have here Bolivia. Can you write or comment how many people has visited Bolivia? Bolivian music emerged after the nationality period of the 50s. Yes, 1950s, 1950s, when the Quechua and Aymara cultures gained wider acceptance. As a result, representative musical style. I have here a friend. Hi, Rocky. Representative musical style underwent a period of gradual fusion with pop. The Harkas. Wow, yes, I have listened. Harkas played an important role in the fusion and in popularizing folk music in the country. One of the biggest controversies arose when a lawsuit was initiated against a Brazilian group that plagiarized the song Llorando se fue during he left and performed it in a lambada rhythm when the original version was in a saya rhythm. Other forms of music, such as the caporal dance, saya, and the taquirari, are also widely played. Brazil. Oh, a pause. Today, my favorite club sports team in Ecuador is Barcelona. Yes, I am from Barcelona team, but Barcelona from Ecuador. Yes, and the match, remember, will be displayed today in 7:30 hour of Ecuador. And okay, if you like football, you can enjoy. And Barcelona will play against River Plate. Yes, River Plate from Argentina. This is a Liga Pro Cup, and we're in the Barcelona is in the first place. Okay, let's continue. Brazil is a geographically vast and culturally diverse country. It has a rich history of popular music development ranging from the early 20th century innovation of samba to modern Brazilian popular music and tropical hymns, as well as international renowned bossa nova and Latin jazz. With the passage of time and with the increase in cultural exchange with countries beyond the Portuguese Empire, typical musical elements from other countries became important, as was the case with Italian and French opera. He's my very loyal companion this morning. Oh, we have here not too much early because we are in noon now. Yes, it's 12 with 7 minutes right now. Noon part of the day. Okay, oh, I lost my I lost the Okay, typical musical elements from other countries became important, as was the case with Italian and French opera and dance such as the zarzuela, samba, the bolero, and the habanera of Spanish origin. The polkas and waltzes, it's difficult, very popular between the 18th and 19th centuries, and American jazz in the 17th century, which found fertile ground in Brazil, where they took root and were transformed. With a strong black participation, popular music from the late 18th century began to show signs of the formation of a distinctive Brazilian sound. In classical music, however, despite such a diversity of elements, it appeared late but closely followed, which include local technical possibilities compared to the main European centers of Mexico and Peru, what was happening in Europe, and somewhat less so in Spanish America in each period. Thus, specifically, Brazilian character will be present until the great synthesis are achieved by Villalobos, already in the middle of the 20th century. Other Brazilian rhythms, the most successful in Brazil are forró, originating in the Northwest, calypso, brega, tururua, and carimbo in the north. In southern Brazil and the central western region, the sertanejo rhythm, heard throughout the century, resembles the chamamé of Argentina, with a strong presence of the hurdy-gurdy. Interesting. Choro is another of the many Brazilian music styles that generally use 7-string guitars, guitar, mandolin, flute, cavaquinho, and pandeiro. These terms have been around for over 130 years. It was born from the arrival of the Portuguese royal family, where several new instruments arrived in Brazil, such as the piano, clarinet, guitar, saxophone, mandolin, and cavaquinho, but also the arrival of several dances such as the waltz, quadrille, mazurka, modinha or modina, minute, chotis, and polka. The genre was born from the fact that the social classes grew tired of Portuguese imperialism, so they began to create musical rhythms to express hatred. From there, choro was born. The most popular musical and dance genre in Brazil is samba. Samba is a genre of Brazilian dance and music that originate among the Afro-Brazilian communities of Bahia. However, this is true development occurred in Rio de Janeiro during the 19th century. Samba in Brazil is one of the main elements of Brazilian culture. It is part of the daily life of its people and is recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Yes, I think we are almost to finish. Samba has its origins among Slavic Africans in Brazil. They began to blend its rhythms with European rhythms, such as the polka and the waltz. The enslaved people often played their instruments, sang, and danced in circles, creating the samba, the roda. However, at the time, this type of rhythms were much more closely tied to religious celebrations or rituals than to entertainment per se. Historians say samba originated in Bahia, but gained strength in Rio de Janeiro in the 19th century, when Rio became the capital of the Portuguese Empire. However, like capoeira, Afro-Brazilian religions, and any other type of African expression, samba was frowned upon. Therefore, musicians and samba lovers began hiding in people's homes to celebrate their music. It was then that the musical genre began to develop in the inner city slums, especially in candomblé temples. Important names in Brazilian samba, such as Pixie Chinga or Pixie Guina, Heitor dos Prazeres, and Donga became involved in these events at the time. Famous journalists and authors such as Francisco Guimarães, Manuel Bandeira, and Mario de Andrade also began attending the festivities. At the end of the 19th century, samba began to grow among Rio slums and the general population, establishing itself as a musical genre, beginning in the 30s. Wow, 30s. Almost 1 century ago. Yeah. Samba found a foothold in the recording and radio industries. By then, people also associate samba with carnival and ballroom parties. It was then that samba became of the main elements of Brazilian culture and can be considered a national music symbol. Wow, the song continues here. So, we are done. I am done, and that's it. I am happy anyway, a little tired, but I am happy. I can share with you my abilities with English, and anyway, I love my dream thing in life is music. So I can share everything about music with all of you in every week. I can say I will share content every week. I don't know if once or twice a week, but Okay, I am happy and I wish have a good day. Enjoy, because life is better with simple things. Enjoy with your family and with your friends. So I send a very special regard from Europe, Ecuador, and with this very hot weather. I appreciate you connection to my channel. Follow me or subscribe here for more content, or please click in the lamp for notifications. And okay, remember, Mari is with you, and we will enjoy every week. Good luck and very good day. And today Barcelona will be the winner. Woo, 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 woo. So thank you for your attention, and that's all for today. Have a good day. Bye.